Hello and welcome back to another video. This week I'll be discussing a camera that has quite the reputation. This camera is a medium format beast, with the body alone weighing in at 1,750 grams, and then the lens weighing in at another 590 grams. The camera is also considered to be one of the best in the world for portraits. This camera is the Pentax 6.7, specifically with the 105 2.4. I picked up a Pentax 6.7 back in December of 2022, and I can't lie, it's a camera that I've had a love-hate relationship with. When I first got the camera, I wasn't enjoying it at all. It functions the same as basically any SLR, and it's loaded very similarly to the Mermaid 7, which is a medium format rangefinder. After a while, I started to like the camera more and more, getting photos that I enjoyed and liking how the camera functioned. But these past few months, I've barely picked the camera up at all. In total, I think I've picked it up about 3 or 4 times over the past like 4 or 5 months. And I want to pick it up again and get some photos that I enjoy, but I'm just struggling so much. I thought this was because I had the GFX and the Mythicon 65mm 1.4, and if you don't know, that lens and camera combination create a look very similar to the Pentax 6.7. But the more I think about it, the more I don't think that's actually the case. So why is it that I'm struggling to get portraits I enjoy on a camera that is known to be one of the best in the world for portrait photography? Well, aside from it being the photographer and not the camera that creates the work, I think it comes down to a few different reasons. In no way in this video am I saying that the Pentax 6.7 is bad, I'm just saying that I don't enjoy it and I think it's important to discuss this, if not for anyone, then just for myself. And I just want to say that these are my personal opinions and people are going to disagree, so don't get mad, it's my opinions, some will disagree, some will agree. But if you want to leave hate comments, then please do. All it does is boost my video up into the algorithm more, and it's just benefiting me and just wasting your time. Anyway, we will now just get on to the reasons why I think that the Pentax 6.7 isn't working for me. And number one is the camera just doesn't have that medium format magic. While the camera does create images that have that special medium format look, the camera itself just feels like an oversized SLR. And that's because realistically, it is just an oversized SLR. It's just a 35mm camera that has been upscaled to be able to shoot medium format. And personally, I just prefer medium format cameras that have that unique medium format magic to them. For instance, the Mermaid RZ6.7. It has a unique body design, a lovely waist level viewfinder, a bellows focusing system, and that iconic sound when you press the shutter. The Mermaid RZ6.7 does have that medium format magic to it, and I'm just not getting that with the Pentax 6.7. Others might, but personally I don't. Number 2, I don't like the way you load the camera. I'm not sure why this is, but I really don't like the way you have to load the Pentax 6.7. It's basically the same as the Mermaid 7, and I used to own one and I used to love loading that camera. But with the Pentax 6.7, I just don't enjoy it and I have no idea why. Ever since I've had this camera, I've struggled or just like not enjoyed loading it. In fact, one of the first times that I went out with this camera, I was trying to load it and for some reason my roll just popped straight back out. I find that I struggle the most with lining up the bits on the film with like the bits in the camera, like you have to line it up and get it in there so it doesn't move about. And with the Mermaid 7, that was really easy. But with the Pentax 6.7, it's just really hard for me for some reason. I've also asked other people and they don't struggle with it, so I think it's just something about me, I guess. I also prefer the types of medium format cameras where you take like the film spool or whatever it is out and load the film onto that. It just has more of that medium format magic that I was talking about and just feels really unique. Number 3, the camera is hard to focus. I find that with the viewfinder I have on my camera, it's extremely difficult to nail focus. I never had this problem with the RZ6.7, Mermaid 7, Rolleiflex or Mermaid 6 or 5. But with the Pentax 6.7, I struggle so much to nail focus when using it. A lot of the time I think I nailed focus, but with the aperture being f2.4, it's got such a shallow plane of focus that my images look a tad bit soft, because instead of the eyes, I focus just behind them or just in front of them. And it's really hard to tell with the viewfinder I've got. I'm sure if I had a split prism viewfinder then this wouldn't be as much of an issue, but I don't really want to invest the money into getting one to finding out that it's just me. And number 4, the camera just doesn't feel that impressive in many ways, and I think that's my main problem. The only thing that makes you go whoa about this camera is the weight. The loading is the same as most SLRs, the focusing is the same as most SLRs, and the shooting is the same as most SLRs. And that's because, like I said before, this camera is just an oversized SLR. And personally, if I'm shooting medium format, I want something that feels unique and impressive. To be fair, another thing about this camera which is really impressive is when you take a photo, the mirror shake of the camera and just like the sound is really nice. Also, before I forget, another thing that I quickly want to touch on is the minimum focus distance. I'm not sure if there is a Pentax 6.7 lens out there that can focus close, and that just sucks for my work. Please tell me if there is a lens out there that can focus close. I currently have the 105 2.4 and I find that it's not able to focus as close as I want it to. When I bought the Pentax 6.7, I was looking at other people's work and just thinking how amazing it was. And I thought I could create work like that if I had this camera, but clearly not. And I wish I tested out this camera before I bought it, because you never know, I may have not bought it in the first place. But to be fair, I also am kind of glad that I did buy it, because it made me find the GFX and it made me find the Mythicon and just it made me find a whole bunch of other cameras and equipment. However, I do want to at least try and enjoy this camera more. And I think the only way I'm going to be able to do that is to use it more. So that is why I'm setting myself the challenge of using my Pentax 6.7 more. It's pretty much just been sat around for the most part for these last few months. I have shot it here and there, and I did have a little period where I was like, oh, you know what, I'm enjoying using this. But once I saw the images that I had gotten, I was just a bit disappointed. Thinking about it, I've actually only ever had a few images out of this camera that I've enjoyed. And that's really bad considering how many rolls I've put in it. When I look at the photos that I took on the Mamiya RZ6.7, I envy to capture photos like that again. I'm not sure what it was about the RZ6.7, but the camera just felt special to me. Even my first 5 rolls with the Mamiya RZ6.7 are more impressive than the 50 rolls that I've put in the Pentax 6.7. I think that if I still don't enjoy the Pentax 6.7 over the next few months, then I may as well sell it, save up and purchase an RZ6.7 or an RB6.7. Because right now, I'm not enjoying medium format anywhere as much as I used to, and that's just really sad since it's something that I do love. But right now I'm just falling out of love with it. I thought that I wanted larger negatives and more depth of field, so I got a 4x5. But now taking photos with that, I'm realising that what I really wanted was that magic again. And I am getting it with 4x5, I'm loving the process and I'm loving the images that I'm getting. But now I've realised that all that I needed was the magic back. And I think the way to get the magic back is the Mamiya RZ6.7. Anyway, that's the end of this video. It was more of a boring one, but it's something that I just wanted to talk about. Be sure to watch my last video and be sure to watch my Learning Large Format series. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.